In this video, I am sharing a few short clips of my journey out west to where I am now. I documented and shared my trip out here.
Hello, today is April 4th, 2012, and the time is 7:02 a.m. Life Video 3. This video is about my little adventure, and what an adventure it was. April 4th, 2012, 4:48 a.m. Not much to say. I made it. Now what? Cheers.
I also share a few short clips of what I called my protection videos, documenting the times I met with the female online. I did the best I could to document my intent with the female, in the event something went haywire. Well, it did. These videos were uploaded weeks prior to the May 4th, 2013 event, but made public a few days after the said event, as planned if something should go wrong. Finally, probably one of the most weird things I actually captured on video. As I was recording a video, some guy in a Mercedes pulled up by me and started taking my picture. I figure someone in the local police or someone in their union was doing this to intimidate me.
There's nothing to it. But how do you prove anything? You're left with a he said, she said scenario, regardless of what it is. And I'm not trying to, I don't want to see anyone get in trouble or lose a job or anything. But if a wrong has been done, then really, in the ideal world, you would, admit to it and accept the consequences and move on. And in my particular case, it's not happening. So, anyway, this guy's taking my picture. So I just wanted to say, as I'm talking here, and I took a video of this. This guy pulled up in a very expensive, it looked like a Mercedes or something, and had pointed the camera right at me, and was taking my picture. And now he just drove away, and I had recorded it. I don't know what to make of that. And if I said this wasn't the first time I had something bizarre like this happen, then yeah. And that's it. Thank you for watching.
This is not the first time this has happened to me. Once before, I was getting out of my truck to go into a Mark's store when a guy, not the same guy in the video clip, came out of nowhere and asked me if he could take my picture. I continued about my business while looking back at the guy as I walked into the store. When I was going back to my truck, the guy was still standing there, not saying a word. I had 2 other times this happened to me. My thought is, someone in the local police or their union have the balls to be doing this to me. Some may say, how do I know it's them? Well, who else can it be? Who else has invested interest in me? During the last court date, the Court of Appeal Crown mentioned that I think everyone is after me. Afterwards, my lawyer stated he didn't think there's anything wrong with me. In fact, stated, I speak clearly and I have clear thought. My first lawyer told me I wouldn't get a fair trial. My second lawyer went as far as to say, quote, you're delusional if you think you'll get a fair trial. Everyone I've spoken to said the same type of thing. I mentioned this in my filed court materials. My last letter to all, this past week, which is addressed to countless of people and government organizations, are screenshots from the disclosure packages and trial transcripts addressing unwarranted concerns raised by the presiding judge and the Court of Appeal Crown prosecutor. It appears this is being deemed as some sort of mental illness. From a sane perspective, this is merely a discrediting tactic because there is no logical way for my efforts to be deemed crazy, as all I'm doing is presenting evidence. Then I started thinking, when I fired my second lawyer, he told me the court and the Crown prosecutor will attempt to deem me mentally unfit to represent myself. I included this in my materials for the second voir dire. Prior to this, he kept saying I was nuts for auto-recording the female. He even suggested I go for a mental health plea that I'm paranoid. I told him, what the fuck is he talking about? I don't think anyone is after me. Prior to this, my first lawyer stated the same, that I'm a nutter, and that's a quote, for wanting to audio record the female to vindicate myself. Yet anyone who actually speaks to me and listens all say I'm intelligent, I articulate well, my thoughts are rational and clear. Over the past 5 years, since this began for me out here, there appears to be a pattern of interpreting me as mentally ill. Post-traumatic stress, frustration, and being hyper-stressed with what I've been going through for 5+ years to date, thus the emotional times in perhaps some of my videos, is not mental illness or means I am mentally incompetent. It feels like I've entered the twilight zone since coming out here. I am currently waiting for a ruling if I am granted leave to have my matter heard before the Court of Appeal panel. More waiting, more stress.